Michael, we'll start with looking back at the weekend. A couple of players to check up on. Obviously, Sonny Bradley and was it Rico Hackett both having issues? How are they?
Yeah, Sonny Bradley's fine. Okay, Rico's still a bit stiff, so we've got to work that out. What it looks like, ready for tomorrow night. But yeah, we'll see. He's been out on the grass today, but still feels a little bit, so we can't take any risks with that really.
Obviously, the suspension to Adam Jackson. Have you found out the games/appeals for it?
Yeah, I don't think we're not going to appeal it. There's no need to appeal that, so he's going to miss next 3 games. I think in the end, looking at it back, when I think you put your foot that high, unfortunately it's a red card for me. So I don't think it's. Yeah, he made a meal of it. I think which is difficult, but it is what it is, and we have to push on and move on.
Reflections on the weekend. Was there one? You take a variety of learnings from it, but was there one big lesson to take from the weekend?
There's a few things. I think you can always take learnings. I think both incidents in the end, I think, caused the trajectory of the game. I think definitely the sending off. I thought we were just settling into our flow as it happened, so it rocked us. And we knew it was going to be hard to go there when it's their first home game in League One. It was always going to be a tough game. We knew how they were going to play. But then there's moments when at 10 men we've got to make them count, and we didn't make them count. There was a couple of moments where we've got the ball in the box or transition, and we have to score those moments in that situation. So still we can improve, and I thought we could have done better even with 10 men. But for sure the sending off makes it a really tough afternoon for everybody, for ourselves, and everybody else to try and get something out of that game.
The big news today, obviously, the restructuring of the club to make it more attractive for investors. What does that say about the coming years? Obviously, no immediate change, I suppose, in terms of finances, but
yeah, it's not really my thing. It's Clive and the board and Liam and everybody up there to sort of try and streamline us and make us more efficient. I suspect for attracting more investment to the club. So I think it's a smart move, but yeah, it's a bit far from where I am in the grass. So I trust Clive and everybody up there to make the good decisions going forward.
Obviously, you've got quite a few dilemmas at the club in terms of team selection for tomorrow night. We'll work our way from the back forward. At centre back, obviously, you've only got 4 recognised defenders, I think, that are available. How do you go about fixing that? Because obviously you can't play them all the time.
Do you want me to give you a team?
Go on then.
No, I think everyone knows. Look, we're slight on depth. I'm happy with every single player in the building in the squad at the moment. But for sure, we need more depth. We need more depth, and tomorrow night is probably going to be an example of that, where it's come round a bit early for us. We're working really hard in the window, which is probably going to be your next question around that. But for tomorrow night, we want to put a team on the pitch that can be competitive. But of course, I'll have to try as best I can to look after some bodies. But we want to go and win the game. So whoever we put on that pitch will be giving an opportunity to some players, but also making sure that we can put a team on the pitch that can go and get 3 points at Harrogate.
You're getting to know us quite well, obviously. The next question is about the transfer market. What do you think has been the biggest hurdle to get over this transfer market for the lack of incomings?
I think we've got to get it right, and that's not just the player, that's the finances, that's the blend of players we want in the building. I think that's been tricky at times, but we're working overtime to try and make things happen, and at times I suppose gazumping is probably a strange term to use, but it's happened, and then as time's gone on, it's making it really difficult, but we are still working really hard, and we're still confident that we'll make some good signings for the future in the next week or 2 weeks.
Is it about the future? I suppose it is, but it's also about what you need now in terms of that squad depth straight away.
I think both. It's about balance. I think we know what we've got to do. I think we want to make sure that we look after the now, of course, and get the depth to the squad that are capable of playing in League One. And then also we want to add to probably a few more young talents that we think can develop and flourish along with all the other young talents in the building. So getting that balance right makes it probably even more difficult, but we think we can do that, and we're trying hard to do that.
We're a couple of weeks, I suppose, away from being too reflective about the whole transfer window, but if we were having this conversation back in June, May, at the end of last season, this was how the transfer window would have gone, would you have been happy with it?
I think that's not a question you can ask until the transfer window's shut, because like where we are now, is not where I'm happy with, but no one in the building is happy with that because we haven't got the depth in the building. So if you ask me that now, no, I'm not happy because we haven't done what we need to do, but we've still got time to do what we need to do, and there's still some moving parts to it. So I don't think that's a question you can ask until the end of the window.
And I suppose you've got a clear strategy in your mind as to what the priorities are, because like you say, you've been open. You're probably not going to get every single target, but you've got a strategy of the key areas you need to get.
Yeah, I think that's it. We know 100% what we need. I know what we need in certain areas. I think that's the challenge, is getting the targets, because of the finances, because of what everything else is around it. I don't think you don't change what you need. I know what we need in the squad. It's getting the targets over the line that we're working really hard on, and making sure that we don't panic just because we need it in the squad now. And I think we know exactly what we need in terms of football thing. It's getting those targets over the line.
You mentioned giving the chance to some players tomorrow. Is it a chance for the likes of Tom Hamer, who's struggled to get a start, who obviously you expect will come in, and Zayn Okoro as well, to show you what they can do? Yeah,
without discussing the team again, I don't want to discuss that. It's a blend of making sure we're competitive because we want to go through. Like, the reality is we want to go through. But as you've alluded to, is some knocks and bumps and things like that. We need to prioritise the health of the squad as well, with how short the depth is. So there'll be opportunities for certain players, of course.
And Harrogate Town, a team that I suspect a couple of years ago you wouldn't have expected to be too familiar with, but back-to-back, you've played them back-to-back in back-to-back seasons, sorry. Are you confident of getting a result?
Yeah, we're confident, but they'll be confident. They've started well. We've watched both of their games back, and they've started with a win against Bristol Rovers away, and then they've gone and got 3 points against 1 point in a 3-3 draw with Grimsby. So they're a competitive team. They know how they play. They're solid in what they do, and obviously we've got to go to their place. So it's not going to be an easy game by a long way, but we've got to go there with some confidence and a group that we think can go and get us into the next round, which is what we all want, and getting the balance of that is right.
And how important is a cup run in the EFL Cup and the FA Cup later this season?
I think all the cups are really important. They're important to the club, they're important to the fans. We want to do well. I think we can fight on all fronts, and we want to fight on all fronts. But in the challenge of any league manager at this point is that they're so early on the season. How do you get the balance of that right without causing more issues and injuries to the squad? But that doesn't mean you don't want to win. Of course, when we get out there, we want to win. And the Carabao Cup, in the next round of the Carabao Cup, you can have a big team. So we want to go through and get ourselves in the hat for sure.